Fashion is interesting because it wasn't really something that I came from that time na pag sinabi ng nagmaga-art ka, wala kang,
Mm.
hindi ka yayaman, basically.
Oo.
A lot of my design choices or design ideas stems from the question of why can't I?
Mhm.
Or yeah, why can't I? Something like that. Like you focus on the things that you can control,
I
that you
like
can
that.
improve on.
Mhm.
And don't let parang yun nga, the influx of other things really distract you from your core as a person.
Welcome to Build Different, a leadership podcast where we all strive to learn how to build ourselves better through the different stories that we share weekly. My name is Joe, your host for this episode. Laughter is the best medicine. Do you agree? Now I'd like to introduce to you our guests. Today, we're joined by a visionary whose designs speak louder than words. She is not just a fashion designer, she's a storyteller, weaving Filipino heritage, modern femininity, and fearless individuality into every stitch. From the runways of Manila to the hearts of empowered women everywhere, her creations redefine what it means to be bold, beautiful, and unapologetically yourself. Get ready to explore the mind behind the masterpiece. Please welcome Miss Mara Chua.
Hello.
Welcome, Miss
Hi.
Mara. Yeah, hi Mara. Welcome to Built Different. So, can you please quickly introduce yourself to the rest of the listeners of Built
Hi,
Different?
I'm Mara Chua. I'm a fashion designer for about 12 years. Yeah. Right now, we mostly do women's wear, custom, bridal. We also dabble in pageantry and actually
Mhm.
drag as well. So, yeah, there's that.
Thank you so much, Mara. And here we will be able to get to know you more, your story, your brand. Since Build Different is a leadership podcast, I'd
Mm.
like to start with a few leadership philosophy questions, if that's
Okay.
okay with you. So first
Okay.
question. No, so unang question natin. How would you describe yourself as a leader, and how has your leadership style evolved over
Okay.
time?
How I am as a leader, actually, it's very hard to like define
Mhm.
actually because like when I started with fashion, I never really like saw this as a parang something where leadership is needed
Mhm.
actually.
Mhm.
Parang I mean I just wanted to like design my clothes. I mean,
Yeah.
but eventually when it started growing, then you start realizing that I mean, no man is an island, so you
Yeah.
need people to like you need to onboard people and
Of
stuff
course.
like that. So the style would be it ranges so depending on the day, depending on the
I
season.
understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like if it's not the man like super busy, then
Mm.
medyo laissez-faire lang, like you do
Mm.
whatever you want to do. But
Yeah.
if of course if there's like a huge deadlines upcoming, so it shifts into like something more structured, I guess.
Yeah. What's the most parang pinakamadaming volume of the clients or
My God.
that you have, or
Usually it's every December. That's really the
December?
peak season for bridal,
I can
especially.
understand.
So like before we were still doing like full entourages. It would be
Wow.
about 10 to 15 people per project, per
Wow.
10 to 15
Mhm.
dresses per project. So bridal kasi usually like if you're really busy, that's like 20 to 30
Mhm.
brides in 1 month.
Wow. Sobrang dami.
Yeah,
20 to
exactly.
30
So
brides
like
in a
medyo
month.
nag-scale down na kami. So
Mhm.
parang we don't really do a lot of entourage na
You
anymore.
intentionally scaled down.
Yes, yes.
Parang
Parang,
there's exclusivity na.
aside from
Well,
exclusivity, parang focus
yeah.
then.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I guess part of fashion is you have to also find your what's this your point of view.
Mhm.
So kumbaga it's very hard to like cultivate that or develop that
Yeah.
when you're doing so many things.
Tama. I agree. And later on, I have a few questions about it. No, so now moving on to identity and creative voice. What does fashion mean to you? So parang we're going to parang from the most basic question. So what does fashion mean to you beyond fabric and form?
Okay. Fashion is interesting because it wasn't really something that I was like, parang, how do I explain this? It started becoming like a fascination to me. Fashion is a fascination. I think I think at the very core that is what fashion is to me. It's a constant fascination for me. Like it's a never ending like trial and error. Like it's always like evolving. And then it never really occurred to me that it was like a career that I was going to pursue. Parang in high school, it was just like something I drew clothes for fun. It wasn't like something that I seriously thought about pursuing.
Yeah.
Mga siguro after high school na when I realized, oh, this is kind of what I really want to do.
Okay. So I think it's proper and I think maganda rin tanongin, baka curious din yung
Yeah.
mga listeners natin. How did Amara Chua started into the fashion industry?
I started, for context, I started kasi like 20, I think mga 2006, mga ganon. I started learning about fashion 2006. Parang I did self-studies. I bought like the parang pattern making books that they were selling in National Bookstore. It was like this really old books that in this parang brown recyclable paper. Pero like I wasn't very satisfied with the information that I was getting from those books. So like I tried searching for a school that sort of like would teach fashion. And this 2006, walang social media at the time. You can just type it on Google and then something will pop up.
Medyo old school
So there was like a lot of researching involved. I found one, it's FIP in Ortigas, that would like hold summer classes in pattern making and fashion design. So parang I enrolled in that. Una pa nga, my parents were not very supportive. So matigas ulo ko. So I like borrowed from my friends. Buti na lang like the tuition is not super mahal.
Kaya siya.
Kaya naman. At the time, it was like 16,000 for the 2-month course. Although mahal na siya back then, pero it wasn't crazy mahal.
Yeah.
So parang I borrowed from my friends.
Yeah, I understand.
Tapos parang, kasi parang I started college, I was super duper young. So I really didn't know what I want to do. Wala pa naman K-12 nung...
Wala
pa.
Hindi natin naabutan yan. Yeah.
So I was like parang 15 when I started college. Parang when I went to college, parang, you know, naman, yung parents mo, they wanted you to do certain things. And I was like, okay, sige, let's do that. Tapos I realized I didn't want to do it pala. Yun. Parang, and then, so when I tried doing fashion for like those 2 months, parang doon ko na-realize, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Parang, A, I'm good at it. B, I think I want to do this, like, professionally nga.
Actually, that's a good story. Me, personally, I'd like to know, who are the first people who trusted you?
Oh my God, they were my high school barkada.
Of course. Yan.
Diba? Sila yung una ko nilapitan. Parang pwede ko humiram ng ganito, ganyan. Kasi when they lent me money, ganyan. Siyempre, big deal yun. High school pa lang. Like, 2000 is not something that parang a high school student back in 2006 would like have out of their pocket just like that.
Yeah. And maybe, if it's okay to ask, who would be maybe the most iconic or the biggest project that you have handled so far?
Biggest project?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The biggest is like a government project.
Government projects, of course.
Uniforms for like a government agency. But yan, yung pinakamalaki.
Yeah.
Pero others, I've done a lot of, I've been doing a lot of drag queens lately. So, like, with Marina Summers, ganyan. So, that's a lot of fun, actually.
Interesting. And so, for the next question, how did you discover your design voice? And how has it evolved over time?
I would describe myself as an information sponge. So, like, I draw a lot of, like, I like absorbing information. I draw it from everything. I draw it from reading, I draw it from watching, I draw it from listening. Like, I like finding interesting things in places where people don't necessarily look at. So that's kind of like, and then applying that into fashion.
Yeah.
So like the disciplines that I look into are not necessarily just fashion related. Can be something as random as science
course.
or math or whatever.
I kind of understand because from a different profession, pero bahay naman yung dinedesign namin.
Oh,
But
cool.
randomly, when you like, diba, parang look into a blank space and then you will think of something, diba, parang it's something na parang dun mo kapupulutan ng inspiration.
Pero yun, like inversely, like being an information sponge, it's like hard to like get rid of all the white noise, like the extra like information, just to find like your center nga. So that's parang something that I tried developing over the years, and then parang I winnowed down into like, oh, I really like parang this silhouette. I really like parang these elements, these details, parang ganon, and then parang built on that eventually.
Now this is more like a more personal question.
Yes.
What part of your personal story is stitched into every piece you create? You know, some people,
yes.
But inalay ko to sa aking kapatid or what? Yeah.
Personal story, I think a lot of my design choices or design ideas stems from the question of why can't I? Or why can't I? Something like that.
Okay.
Growing up in like a very religious household community, there were a lot of rules. There were a lot of bawals.
Okay.
And it didn't work well with me because I'm like born like intuitive. Like I question everything. Like it's always the question, bakit bawal? Bakit hindi pwede?
Yeah.
So like ganun din, especially with bridal, parang you have so many like preconceived notions of what should not and should be with bridal. So parang it's always about that parang reflexive, parang question and answer portion internal na parang bakit hindi pwede ganito? Bakit hindi pwede ganyan? That's always like parang the core of when I work on a design. Like why can't it be done like this?
So is it safe to say that Marachua's design is more like more freedom? More
freedom,
open.
Yes. Like, yun nga, parang I don't ascribe to like a preconceived like rule book or anything like
That's
that.
Good.
Parang I like throwing away the rule book if there's any.
Oh.
I'll go through it. Okay, see.
Of course, there are few people who would prefer na, syempre, diba, na they wanted to be like inside this
I mean, that's the beauty of fashion naman.
Yeah.
Like, especially nowadays, with like information freely available. Like, you sort of find your own tribe. And then, like, it's a lot more, especially with like bridal. Come back to bridal. Because bridal is like, it's an interesting segment in fashion. It's like, it's not just like a parang, it's not just your normal fashion RTW. It doubles as like a ceremonial wear. It's religious. It's technically a religious garment per se. So there are a lot of like parang guidelines on what can and cannot, how, and then you work around with those guidelines to make something interesting. And then it's almost always in white. Parang nung college, parang I super enjoyed making like all white plates. Like you just manipulate paper and then let the shadow work do the work for you. Parang ganon. It's bridal is like that. Parang you it's how you manipulate white into something interesting.
Yeah, and that's a good answer. Now, as an artist and how you process things, was there ever a time that everything like feels silent? There's nothing that there's no idea being conceived. And what did you do? And where did you draw inspiration?
There were a few times actually, parang burnt out. The typical creative burnout naman, it happens almost every year.
To everyone, actually.
Almost every year, I don't know. Like probably the last time it happened, earlier this year actually. I don't know. Like I try to just keep life yun nga, siguro, I'm also at an age where
Mm.
parang, kasi most of my 20s were spent really like doing fashion So I also like wanted to explore other things na rin.
Yeah. Mm.
Parang ganon. So parang to keep things interesting,
Mhm.
to just have like a new perspective on things.
Agreed.
Kasi parang once you go down into that rabbit hole, diba, especially with like the career and stuff like that, you sort of lose perspective of the everything else that goes around you. And parang there's so much beauty na you miss out on when you're too singularly focused on just one thing.
And if I may add, those chances, those instances na nabablanko tayo, I think because of the overwhelming situation that we
Yes.
have, and sometimes tama ka, konting pahinga, konting
Yeah.
relax will give you another new best or idea.
Yeah, like something I learned in my mid-30s is to always stop and smell the flowers.
Of course, yeah.
actually. Parang what's the point of doing all of this if you cannot like enjoy the smell of the flowers from time to time?
So, for the next question, how do you balance timeless elegance with modern edge in your designs?
I think in a way, parang you sort of go back to like how we started this conversation. Like you define what elegance is.
Yeah.
And you realize that elegance is like it's still an ever evolving idea as well. It's not really something that's parang static. So you build on that, like you apply that to parang what's applicable today, like because fashion is always like that naman eh. It's a cycle. Sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's like that. Pero at the end of the day, if it's like a well-made garment, then it's a timeless garment.
Yeah. And if ever, can you share to us a collection or a piece that felt like it was the turning point of your career?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm trying to review.
So many, baka sobrang dami.
Yeah, in a way. Pero like, I think the wedding gown I made for my friend actually was probably the turning point in my career. This was 2013, and like a friend of mine had her wedding gown made. I think it's my second or third wedding gown that I made actually. It sort of pivoted my entire career into bridal.
Oh, okay.
Like parang one of her coordinator parang saw what I did, parang and then contacted me through Facebook. This was a time the baby pa si Facebook, so it's like it's wild west pa sa online and stuff like that. And then parang that's how I started with bridal. She referred a lot of like brides to me in my first couple of years, ganon.
And for sure, sa maraming mga nakikinig ngayon, maraming nakarelate. No? When we started our business, I started my business 2015. Meron lang isa tao magtitiwala sa'yo.
Yeah, exactly.
And so on and so forth. Now, moving on to leadership and industry insight. What's the most challenging part of leading a fashion brand in the Philippines?
I think it's balancing leading like any creative like business. It's balancing creativity and business.
Of course.
Kasi you have a very specific point of view that your people will not necessarily share. So the challenge is to communicate that point of view as effectively as possible. Although madalas nalalost in translation din talaga. So parang it's still a work in progress. At the same time, obviously, there's the business aspect of things. Parang creative industries are not as valued, I guess, here in the Philippines at the moment. I mean, it's improving, but it's kumbaga, I came from that time na pag sinabing nagmaga-art ka, wala kang, hindi ka yayaman, basically. So that was, they were so, yun nga, parang all my parents were like, all my parents' aunts were like very against the fact that I pursued fashion. Kasi nga, hindi daw ako yayaman sa fashion yet. So,
but here you are, di ba?
I'm doing fine.
Interviewing you.
Yeah, I know. Gulat nga ako. Pero yan, so that's actually yung balance. Parang, and with creatives kasi, parang it's hard to follow a timeline when the idea is not there yet. So parang yun nga, parang it's always a balancing act to like to stay professional but to keep that parang creative spirit alive pa rin.
Kaya may mga artists no na they have this mga products that they really sell. And then there are products na talagang for their own to feed their artist.
I do that. That's why I accept a lot of like drag projects there. Parang it's really the more creative avenue. Like I can do like a lot of things. Although with drag
more flexible.
They're artists, so they have a very specific also vision in mind of what they envision themselves to be in. But usually it's really very creative. So it's more like it's really fun. And then parang it's in a way parang people would think that drag is like parang so off tangent from bridal, but because of the techniques that you explore sa drag, you can sort of scale it down and apply it naman to bridal. Ganon.
It's a good idea, no? So ngayon ko lang narinig yun, no? And of course, when two things, very different things, share in one common whatever aspect it is, pwede mo siya i-explore. Now for the next question, Mara, what advice would you give to emerging designers who feel the pressure to follow trends?
I mean, now more than ever, I think you really have to cultivate your point of view because of like of the influx of so many things. I mean, we're barraged every day with different types of media from different sources, from different social media platforms, etc. It's a lot of things starts to become very repetitive and banal. So like you really want to like cultivate your own point of view. Na parang people would like take more than 10 seconds of scrolling to like do a second take. Parang, oh, this is interesting. Parang ganon. So like actually following trends is probably going to be more detrimental for a young designer now than to really like start as early as now to cultivate. Like it's so different from our time. Parang we really have to do a lot of things to stay afloat. You have to do uniform, you have to do all of these things. Because you don't have social media. So you really have to like get your name out there in so many other ways na it's very parang mano-mano pa back in the day. Pero now you have social media. You just have to really like be genuine and be true to yourself. Pero yun din, like eventually the designers that do stay the longest are the ones that are, yun nga, they have their own point of view.
I'm sure maraming designers ang nakikinig din and might parang madaanan nila tong podcast natin and I'm sure your advice would be very, very helpful to them. And I really want the humble beginning that you're telling me from high school. People just started trusting you and then you borrowed from one person to another because I can relate. So now I'd like to talk about or like throw in some questions about mindset and growth. So what mindset has helped you thrive in an industry known for constant reinvention?
Mindset. I think
okay lang. Sagutin mo lang kaya lang parang naulit siya.
Yun nga, parang siguro I think I can answer that na parang my shift in mindset as a person who was I still am a bit of a control freak. Pero yun, parang is to learn to let go of a lot of things. Like it's a constant parang telling to myself that you cannot control everything. Like you focus on the things that you can control, that you can improve on. And don't let parang yun nga, the influx of other things really distract you from your core as a person. Parang yun din, with all of the trends coming in, parang it's easy to be swayed if you don't have your center rooted properly. So yeah, something like that. Na parang in a way to grow, parang you really have to dig deep into the soil to really center yourself properly.
I'd like to build on dun sa sinabi mo na yung mga bagay na hindi mo naman kayang kontrolin, huwag mo nang isipin.
Yeah,
Huwag mo nang
exactly.
stressin yung sarili mo.
Exactly.
I used to be like that. Kasi, di ba, parang these things, hindi mo naman control, pero you're stressing yourself out.
Yeah.
And experience taught me na the things that you can control, put your 100% effort on those things. Pero yung mga bagay that are beyond your control, reaction of people, climate,
Yeah,
diba?
exactly.
And a lot of other things, you need to let go of those things. Kasi hindi naman natin siya control. Now, for the next question, how do you handle creative blocks or self-doubt?
Self-doubt, creative blocks. Yun nga, to pause. Pause talaga. And then, just...
Have you ever doubted yourself?
A lot of times. I still do, actually. I mean, honestly, I still do. Like, you know, pero less today than before. Pero I still do. I still have some. I mean, you cannot, ano naman that. You cannot really remove that from a person. But, you know, you just have to really learn how to work with, parang to improve yourself and then to really be, to build that confidence in yourself talaga. Pero, yun nga, creative blocks, usually, just to pause, parang to find something to keep your mind off of things and yun nga, to refresh your perspectives. Kasi, you cannot control it. So, the more you stress yourself out that you're in this rut, parang the more you're just going to, it's not productive. Then on
the
your
reason
end.
I ask, kasi of course, a lot of young leaders, entrepreneurs, artists, marami talaga, we all have self-doubts from time to time. Diba? And the best way to handle it, if you doubt yourself, sa tingin ko lang what I did, is parang to never stop learning also.
Yeah,
diba?
that's
Never
another
stop
ano
learning.
din. Yun nga, para to pause, to find something, to keep yourself curious.
Was there ever a belief that you have to unlearn to grow as a designer and an entrepreneur? Unlearn?
A lot, actually. Kasi when I entered college, actually, that was the first lesson that like my art teacher taught us, to unlearn whatever it is that we learned previously.
Wow.
So that stuck to me. So it's design is actually a constant process of unlearning and relearning. So parang
you need to start from scratch always.
Yeah,
from
something
zero.
like that. Like if you think this is working, there's probably a better way of doing things. Parang ganun, you never build too much, you're never too confident about it. It's also like a balancing act. Na you're never too overconfident that what you're doing is the best thing. Kasi fashion is still part of an innovative industry. Innovation is really like key. So if you're not innovating, maiiwan ka rin.
I agree. And thank you for that answer. Now, we're going to move on to some questions that will more like a vulnerability and real talk questions. Have you ever felt underestimated in the fashion world? And how did you respond?
I think, yeah, when I was starting, but I wouldn't say that I felt really directly underestimated. Parang, when I started, I really programmed myself na you do your thing. If you get recognized, great. But if you don't, okay lang. Basta may, you have clients, you're doing well, you're not, hindi ka baon sa utang. Yun lang. Parang big plus for me that, I get some sort of recognition or whatever. But it's not something that I actively like look forward to or something that I seek. Parang ganon. So, like, yun nga, parang if ever I was really underestimated, partly I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Partly I wouldn't know.
I think that's a good trait.
Yeah, partly I wouldn't know. Because like, parang, yun nga, it's something that I didn't concern. Although, of course, I have peers na parang, sige, ganito din nangyayari sa akin when I was starting. Parang, and yun nga, parang eventually you learn na, we all have our own pace.
Of course. Yeah, so marami nakaka-relate dyan. Kapag nag-uumpisa ka, marami magsasabi sa'yo, hindi mo kaya yan.
Yeah.
It's not for you, di ba? But here we are, di ba? And talking about our wins in life. For next question, what's a moment of failure or rejection that ultimately shaped your success?
Yun nga, especially with custom kasi, it's always a new project.
Mm.
Parang you're only as good as your last project.
Yeah.
So it's always a new project. Like, um, even with all your successes previously, if you like make palpak on something, if it's not what people will remember.
Of course.
So there's that. So parang it always keeps us on our toes, not to always strive to be the very best. Pero like something like a big event really that shaped me. Syempre, yung pandemic, like, you know, we really, fashion is like technically non-essential. So parang we really have to find ways to like realign our business into doing something else to be able to like sustain nga our expenses, etc. So parang it also shaped me to become more malleable, a lot more malleable than I was prior to the pandemic. Like, yun nga, to adjust when adjustment is needed.
Yeah.
You know?
And as an artist and as an entrepreneur, I'm sure you're one of person who has vision. Now, how do you stay true to your vision when others don't see it yet?
That's an interesting question.
That's a good question, actually. Yeah.
How do I stay true to my vision?
When others don't see it.
Yes. Oo nga eh. No? Mahirap nga yun. Mahirap nga yun. Mas matigas lang kasi talaga ulo ko, I guess. Parang, yun nga, parang when I set myself to do something, parang hindi ako matahimik until I do it. Eh. So it's part of my character na parang to really like push myself to do what I really want to do.
Yeah.
Na even if others can't see the vision yet, parang I'm pretty confident na they will eventually see it. Pero for others naman, yun nga, parang lakas ng loob.
Yeah.
Lakas ng loob. Tigas ng ulo. Yun.
Hanggang sa makuha niya.
Hanggang sa makuha.
I have this, another organization outside JCI na meron kami tinatawag yung caught by the vision. Kailangan you yourself, as the starter, as the fire starter, kailangan caught by the vision ka. Yung vision mo that you have for your company or for whatever you're designing, kailangan, eto nito, sa akin ito. And then, sabi nila, the other people that are surrounding you, soon enough, parang lalaki yung circle and then they too will be caught by that same vision. And that's what I'm praying for, at least for my team also. And so that's that I just wanted to share kasi it's a good it's a good mindset.
Yeah. Sometimes parang the self-doubt does creep in when the vision is not visioning yet. Pero yun nga, eventually parang basta tibay lang. Tibay at lakas ng loob talaga ang kailangan.
Yeah. Now down to the few or several last questions. These questions are more on the legacy side and impact side. What kind of legacy do you want to live in Philippine fashion?
Actually, hindi ko naiisip.
Hindi
ko pa naiisip.
Still very young.
Parang it's an idea that's too grandeur for me to even think about. Like, it's something that I think others should decide for me. Parang ganon. Pero, like, I do want to be known, yun nga, as the designer who sort of tried to, like, shake the system a bit. Yun nga, even when I was starting, yun nga, parang I always questioned the dynamics of everything. Like, how the system works, ganon. Like, for those who know me long enough, they would know na ako yung maingay sa Facebook lagi. Lagi. Back in, like, especially when I was starting, like, I always called out, like, all the parang unfair practices in the industry. So parang, yeah, that's how I remember myself. Hopefully, that's how others will remember.
Someone who stands up.
Yeah.
So, ito, yung next question. How do you hope your work empowers the women who wear it?
Ang tagline ko talaga with my brand especially, it's for the women who marches to the beat of their own drum.
Nice.
So, it's really for women who are, hopefully through my clothes, can express that parang sureness in themselves.
Parang mga Taylor Swift ba yan ng mga attire and all?
Not Although I did a lot of Taylor Swift concert attires. Pero,
I
pero
know.
yun.
I did my research
Yeah.
also. By the way, guys, there was a magazine that
Yeah.
that told Mara Chua is the go-to designer for Eras concert,
Yun
Eras
nga,
to
parang
Era
that,
tours
that was so
concert.
random eh.
Yeah,
Parang
yeah.
it's just, yun. Pero yun, parang in a way, the women who gravitate towards me are the
Mhm.
women who can relate to who I am then. Parang I am my own person and so are they. And yun nga, parang they want to express that outwardly through the garments that they put on their back. So hopefully I did my job.
That's good. And I really like your answer kasi parang it somehow resonates what I have also when I build yung mga bahay na I'm doing. Parang I wanted your house to be specifically done for you na shows who you are. And
Yeah, that's-
parang
Especially bahay kasi pag matagalan yun.
kung matagalan yun, di ba? Kasi yung damit, baka 1 or 2 times lang
Yeah,
yung suotin. Yeah. So, for the last question, if you could design a piece that symbolizes your journey, what would it look like? Help us visualize.
Oh my God. Ang hirap naman ng tanong. Hirap pa ng tanong. Pero I think, actually, it's a very, like, crisp, white power suit. Like, parang very androgynous, very, kumbaga, anti-feminine in a way, very, yun nga, very sharp. But at the same time, there's still like a very powerful feminine energy coursing through it. Parang that's how I would define like the quintessential look that we have. It's like, yun nga, parang over the years, it's always been about like my musings about what it means to be a woman here in the Philippines, what it means to be a strong woman in the Philippines. Yun nga, parang that's how like my journey has really evolved over the years as a fashion designer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mara Chua. We'll have a short break for a few reminders and we will be back soon.
Hi, this is Jasper with a leadership tip. Own your voice and elevate others. As a woman in leadership, your voice is powerful. Use it with confidence, speak up in rooms where decisions are made, challenge outdated norms, and advocate not just for yourself, but for others who need a platform. True leadership isn't just about personal success. It's about creating opportunities, mentoring, and lifting others as you rise. When women support women, the impact is unstoppable. Back to the episode.
The Built Different podcast would like to thank Henry's Cameras, Power Mac, Hollyland, Ugreen Philippines, Shoppertainment Live, Kappa Cabina, Surge Digital Media, Madcap Productions, Days Media Group, Jazz Up Communications.
Now, for the next part of our episode, we're doing our game called Different, Same. Are you ready, Miss Mara? Yeah, so different, same, everyone is a game that we do here in Built Different podcast kung saan we throw some controversial or no, not so controversial, but different phrases na kung saan more of the guests mas maiintindihan natin kung sino yung mga guests natin. No? So, now for different, same for this episode, the fabric of truth. Okay? So rapid fire truth stitched into fashion metaphors. Ayan.
Okay.
So, different kind of fabrics, and then one truth, one story, and then one moment. You can share any of one of those.
Okay.
So now for the first fabric, silk. A moment you felt most powerful or radiant. Just one story, one moment.
Okay. Siguro when I won as runner-up sa Mega Young Designers back in 2012,
Nice.
kind of started everything, actually.
Congratulations, congratulations. So, yun yung story na where you started, dun ka talaga
Yeah,
parang
that's kind of where everything started.
nakilala na. Now, for the next fabric, denim. A tough lesson that made you stronger.
A tough lesson that made me stronger, 2000, I think 14, 15, when I like accepted way too many clients. And I mean, we eventually did deliver everything, but that was like parang a learning experience for me not to do that ever again.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's a good lesson, of course, for every one of us. For the next fabric, it's a tool, a dream you're still chasing.
A dream I'm still chasing. Siguro peace, I
Peace.
guess.
Peace on
inner
earth?
peace, inner peace, and peace on earth.
Yeah. Oh, of course, kailangan natin yan, di ba? With the current happenings now in the world, di ba? So next, organza, a fragile moment that taught you resilience.
Going back, yeah, yung pandemic actually, that was like life-changing for, I guess, every one of us. But that really like shifted a lot of perspective for me as well.
How did you thrive over
We did
pandemic?
face masks, we did like other
masks.
things, yeah.
PPEs.
Not so much,
Not
but
so
more
much.
face masks talaga.
Okay. Okay. Now, for our next fabric, cotton, a simple joy that keeps you grounded.
Bawal na ako sa coffee eh. Pero sa
So, not
sana.
coffee.
Coffee
Buti pala-
sana. Coffee
Buti pala yung
sana.
aming binili sa'yo ay
Yun nga
fruit juice. Okay. So, simple joy, coffee? Or,
Coffee sana, pero bawal pa ngayon.
So, it's not a joy anymore. Bawal na. If not coffee, what else?
Simple joy. Actually, talaga. Yun
I guess
talaga.
coffee talaga.
Yun talaga.
Okay. Okay. Yan talaga yun. Yun na yun.
Yun talaga
Okay.
yung pumapasok sa utak.
No problem. No problem. Kahit bawal, yung pa rin. Okay, next. Sequence. A time you felt seen, celebrated, or spotlighted.
Time I felt seen, celebrated, or spotlighted. I think when eventually, like, my parents accepted my career path na rin. That was like, okay. Okay na lahat. Okay
Yes.
na lahat.
The final approval, the only
Yeah,
approval.
it wasn't
that
like a verbal approval, pero
Mm.
yun nga, parang, okay, parang everything fell into place.
Yeah, of course, our parents, no? So next, chiffon, a fleeting moment you wish you could relive.
Fleeting moment that I could relive.
Ganda, no? Ganda nun. Oh.
Paano ko doon siguro when I was 19, the first time I was in New York City, na parang I was young, I was like wide-eyed, I was like trying to absorb everything. Parang I wanted to like go back to that moment actually. When yung that moment when you're still wide-eyed and you like want to like absorb everything. Like,
Yeah. I understand your what you're trying to say. Ako din eh, parang minsan gusto ko bumalik sa pagkabata eh. Walang pressure, walang stress, no? And next, mesh, a time you felt exposed or vulnerable.
Siguro when I accepted that government project, yung mga jackets, parang I almost felt like I did not like feel like matatapos ko siya on time.
So you felt exposed.
Yeah.
And,
Parang feeling ko I bit off more than I can chew.
and how was it?
Natapos naman. Natapos
Nice.
naman.
Nice. Lakas. Okay. And okay, last two fabric. PVC, a risk you took that paid off. Or did it?
Risk that I took that paid off. Yun nga, parang when I was starting with bridal, I was one of like the first designers that really advertised online with social media. This is 2013. So baby pa, Sockmed and everything. Parang that's how I easily got my name across different platforms.
Yeah.
Up until today nga, I still get clients because of the seeds I planted way back.
Yeah. And it paid off.
It paid off.
Yeah. Now for the last fabric, satin, a secret indulgence or guilty pleasure.
Chocolates.
Chocolates. Akala ko coffee eh. Okay, chocolates.
Bawal yung coffee eh.
Bawal. Chocolates. All right. Once again, everyone, this is Marichua. Is there any final words or message that you'd like to leave our guests?
Final words. Thank you so much for inviting me here, and it's been such a fun time. For our viewers naman, yun nga, to always root yourself and stay centered, and don't let yourself be swayed by so many trends, because at the end of the day, especially for designers, like, people go to you because of who you are, or your perspective or your point of view.
Thank you again, Ms.
Yeah,
Marichua, for your time, for gracing us with your experiences. Actually, personally, for me, ang dami ko natutunan, and there are a lot of experiences that we share too.
Yeah.
No, hindi man ako artist, I'm an engineer by profession, diba? Pero sabi ko nga kanina, doing houses for people, parang medyo same siya eh, diba? Kasi you wanted to highlight kung sino yung taong to, and then I'd like to give them a design, a house that will just show more of who they are. And isa sa mga natutunan ko, when people starts to trust you, diba? You really need to deliver no matter how hard it would be. Yan yung natutunan ko kay Miss Marichua. This has been Built Different. See you in our next episode.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The Built Different podcast would like to thank Henry's Cameras, Power Mac, Hollyland, Ugreen Philippines, Shoppertainment Live, Kappa Cabina, Surge Digital Media, Madcap Productions, Days Media Group, Jazz Up Communications.